Sudhanshu sir. Sudhanshu sir.
Yes.
Sir, we can proceed for the meeting.
Okay, fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, students, this has been a very golden opportunity for all of you. Like once again, we have Anshuman with us, and obviously we are going to have a wonderful session from him. I think you had already had an earlier session with him, if you can recall. We had this session of NDA earlier also, and Anshuman would be guiding today. Today we are opening up with this webinar where Anshuman would be guiding you all regarding how to prepare for your written exam in NDA. So obviously there are two papers, and he is going to guide you all through. And in the meantime, there is a very happy news for you. We have a student here, our ex-student. I think all of you must be knowing him. Kishan, you're there?
Yes.
Yeah, Kishan Kumar, who qualified for written NDA exam last year. So I would like to invite him in this meeting, and he would share his experiences in brief, like what was his challenge, how did he prepare for this NDA written test and all that. Okay, so let's enrich ourselves. So over to you, Kishan.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can we request all the students to keep their video on?
Okay, students, as you heard, all the participating students, please put on your video. Put on your video, all of you. Please do so. Kishan, you can start, I think.
Okay. Respected CEO, sir, teachers, and all my dear friends. I am Kishan Kumar, ex-Grizzlyan, as well as a pass out of 2020 batch. I am currently pursuing my BTech engineering degree from NIT Trichy, and I will say that I qualified my NDA exam in 2019. So, sharing about my experience about that. So when it comes to NDA written exam, I would say that it's not a very hard nut to crack. If you have proper strategy and you execute your plans well, then I think you can ace this exam very easily. So when I started my preparation, I started with analyzing the paper pattern. So when I saw that paper pattern, the minimum requirement was like scoring 25% in both the papers, as well as if you score around 20% marks in the overall exam, you are qualified. So my basic plan was like to score 25% marks in both the papers, as well as scoring at least 40% marks was my first priority. Then I went on to score more marks as I scored my basic requirement, my threshold marks. So I would say that it is not necessary to target a whole of 100% syllabus. Like when I would tell my experience, I leave the whole SST part, which constitutes of around 20%. But what was my domain was like maths, English, and other science subjects. So I knew that I was having a strong grip over my that domain. So I left that 20% SST part, and that's what I would tell with my experience, that you need not target whole of 100% of the paper, but make sure that whatever you target, you have a strong grip over your domain. And other than that, I would say that on the exams perspective, you should practice some previous year papers to analyze the paper pattern, the current trends, and what you should target to score your basic requirements. Like if you have some basic target, like you have to score 45 marks or 50% marks, you should analyze that what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses from previous year papers, so that you can get to know what are your strengths and you can prepare well through that. Other than that, I would say that from exams perspective, on the exam day you should reach your center early so that you can avoid that last moment hassles, which happens many times with many people. Other than that, be hydrated during the exams, and during that break session between the two sessions, you should get as much refreshment as possible so that you remain fresh during the second session as well. Other than that, okay, that's all. I would say that if you have any other things to discuss or any other query, you can contact me. I will leave my contact number in the chat box, and just drop me a message and I will connect with you. Uh, Thank you. Now I would like to call Anshuman Bhaiya, who has been a constant source of inspiration for all of us to proceed further in the session. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon to all of you. So firstly we'll make this session a little bit a lively one. Like written examination for NDA is, if you are average in your study, you will able to crack it. First thing. Now, before cracking any written examination, you need to understand the pattern and the syllabus of what is the pattern, how examination is being conducted, what all papers are there, what is your syllabus. So first thing, this written examination consists of two papers. Paper 1, that is maths, and paper 2, that is general ability test. Firstly, I'll discuss the contours of syllabus and thereafter I'll tell you how to proceed it for that. So for paper 1, that is mathematics, it is of 2.5 hours paper, which consists of 300 marks. Total question 120. So for each question, you'll get 2.5 marks, and there is a negative marking also. Now, in afternoon, you have the second paper, which is of general ability. So general ability consists of 6 subjects, 6 sections, like section 1, alpha, which consists of English, then physics, chemistry, biology, that is general science, history, geography, and current event. So the second paper consists of 600 marks, 200 for English, 400 marks for your physics, chemistry, general science, history, geography, and current event. There is no economy in that. No economics, no Indian economy. 900 marks total written examination. Then when you go for interview, again interview is of 900 marks. So I have a different take on that. Suppose if you will target around 40 to 45%, then it might happen that your merit will get affected. So I'll tell you which sector you have to target, because most of you might be from science background. So for science background student, there's a different strategy for that. So total 900 marks in written and 900 marks in your interview, SSB interview. Total 1800 marks. out of 1800 marks, your merit will be made. Now, what is the importance of scoring more marks in written examination? I'll tell you with this small example. Suppose after qualifying your written examination, you went for interview. In interview, suppose you are a borderline candidate. You got recommended, but your marks is at borderline. And in written examination, you have got less marks than those guys who got recommended. So what will happen? Your final merit will be made. Your name might not be there in the final merit list. So you have to crack written examination, but crack with a slightly good margin. Now, how to maximize your margin? How to maximize your marks to get a cut above others? Like, I'll start with the paper one, that is your mathematics paper. If you have studied or you are an average student in your class 11th or 12th mathematics, if you see the syllabus, it's trigonometry, calculus, equations, algebra, 11th and 12th syllabus. And if you have studied from R.S. Agrawal, there is a book, you will able to answer around more than 60% of question. Because your exam will be there in April, 13th or 10th April, if I'm not wrong. So at the end of January, now you have February, March, and 10 days of April. So you have around 70 days. So make this plan for 70 days. Put your legs on accelerator. Start revising, solving the question. In mathematics, what is most important? You can't just open the book and go through the examples. No. You solve the question. You solve certain basic theorems. And then you go for final exam. Because it is fresh in your mind. 12th mathematics is fresh in your mind. 11th also you can practice. So when you will practice 11th and 12th examination, not even in NDA written examination, it will give a edge for you in various other competitive examination of +2 level also. So revise your 11th and 12th. Book, any book you can pick. The book which you had already practiced in 11th or 12th. So that will be conducive for you. Don't go for new resource. Just limit your resource. Practice one. If you have practiced NCERT in 11th and basic books, don't go for any material outside. Your marks, the bracket of marks which you'll get in mathematics is slightly getting, because in mathematics, you will be sure about your answer. Like suppose a trigonometric question is there. If you solve it correctly, you will be directly sure about all the 4 options mein ki kaun sa correct hai. That's for sure. So the maximum marks which you will able to get is in mathematics. The total 300 marks, total question 120. If you will able to solve approx 50 question, target that 50 question. Target those syllabus where the percentage highlight trigonometry, then your algebra, then your calculus, then your differentiation, integration, and equation, differential calculus equations. If you're able to target those 50 to 60 questions, it means what? 50% of that paper. No one will stop you in qualifying that exam. Because again, maths mein, whatever you will solve it, answer will be ahead of you. You can directly see the answer out of it. In general study, you might be confused. What will be the answer of it? But in maths, if you have followed the procedure, if you follow the SOPs, If you follow that theorem, if you revise your thing, you'll able to get more marks. 50, I'm talking sure shot. But if you practice good, 10 to 15 question in exam, you will definitely able to solve more. If you will target in any competitive examination, don't target that you will do all the question. You might get trapped in that, because that will create an unduly pressure in your mind. You have a time constraint. You won't be able to solve each and every question within that time frame. You will unnecessarily put yourself in under pressure. So it's better to target certain aspect of syllabus and question. If time will permit, just go for 5 to 10 question more. If no, then not required. Total negative. So just target 50 to 60 question out of 120. Okay. So this is about mathematics. Till now, any doubt in preparation of mathematics? I want to take the question now. Yeah, Sudhanshu sir, any question from any
Yes,
student?
any question from anyone? Manish, Krishna, Israel?
Till paper 1, till mathematics, any doubt you can directly ask me.
You can raise your hand so that we can identify those who want to ask the question. I think Anshuman, just a minute.
Hello.
I think there is a question, I suppose. No doubt. No doubt. There is no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we'll proceed to the second paper. That is your general ability test. This paper consists of 150 question. Each question 4 marks. Now you should be very vigilant here. That is called, there you may fall in that cobwebs. Each question 4 marks. Negative marking, you lose 2 marks or 1/3. It will give you in a question paper, whatever the negative marking will be. So more marks weightage, it means what? If negative marking will be there, you'll get more negative marks. So you should be cautious in this paper, because you guys are from science background. If question is asked from history, like if you see 25% question is from physics, 15% question from chemistry, 10% from biology, 20% from history, 20% from geography, 10% from current event, and around 50 question from English. Now, if you see the English, firstly, I'll talk about the English one. If you see the 50, out of 50, if you have an average command over English, you will able to solve around 20 to 25 question. Now, how to maximize marks in English? There is no book for English, no grammar, nothing. Whatever you have studied English till your +2, just back your English. Just be calm in your exam. Just study or read the question clearly. Like this 50 question of English is categorized into 5 parts. First, they'll ask, check the sentence. They'll give one sentence and there are underlined. So you can check, is it wrong or right? Normal English. Agar if you are focused, if you have concentrated, you'll able to do it correctly. Just read patiently. Now, second is idioms and phrases. It is tough. Idiom and phrases is just a chance. If you know, you know. If you don't know, just don't attempt it. Clear. Antonyms and synonyms. 10 question antonyms, 10 question synonyms. Now, anto and synonyms, it has anto and synonyms like, suppose there is a word called adverse, and they'll ask you synonyms. But they'll not ask you exactly what is the antonym of adverse. They'll give adverse word in one sentence. and there are some words which have contextual meaning. So by reading the sentence, you can derive, okay, this might be the, because it option is there. This is not a blind question. Option is there, so you can directly see ki, okay, if I'll put option A, no, this is not correct. If I'll put option B, it might correct. So like that, some word you might have heard, some word you might not have heard. So the word which you have heard and which you are confident, just do it. Same goes for synonyms. And the last one is, again, sequence of the sentences. Again, it's a normal English. To maximize marks in English, there is no book, but there is one way how you will maximize your marks in English. Read newspaper. I told you before in the last session too, start reading the Hindu newspaper. Now, in Tilaiya, how to get access of Hindu newspaper? Because when you subscribe Hindu newspaper here, I'm not aware because I'm not living here. You might get it from some vendors, but the Hindu newspaper is present online also. So online in your mobile phone, daily, please start from tomorrow. Don't wait for 1st February se karenge. No. Start from tomorrow, start reading the Hindu. Now, what is the advantage of reading the Hindu is not in the written examination. It will increase your current event, your perspective of any event, which will be helpful for written for 10% last current event marks, and it will helpful for you in your SSB interview. How? If you will go for interview, firstly, it will increase your English speaking, your vocabulary, and your general awareness of event. So what will happen after your screening test, when you will be in group of 8, like 4 groups, 40 candidate used to live there for 4 to 5 days. And when you have a knowledge of any particular subject and will start telling the other candidate, they'll feel confident on you. So whenever a debate will happen, they'll directly elect you as your leader. And this thing has happened to me. When I was studying, this newspaper was just like a breakfast. My friend used to tell, jab newspaper aata tha, tera breakfast aa gaya. So when I went for interview, I started giving news or discussing anything. Then the other candidate, they started having that impression that Anshuman ko zyada pata hai. So in any debate, they choose me as leader in group discussion. Then in personal interview, that interviewing officer will ask you some important current affairs, current events. And when you have that knowledge, you'll able to tell him. So then in lecturate, it will be helpful. So this newspaper reading is very important for your written too and for your interview. So this is all. And in your written 50 marks English, you can improve sentence. When you read the newspaper minutely, when you'll see the question, you will directly able to quantify that, okay, this is the error. Okay, this might be the synonyms. Because newspaper has some contextual meaning in their sentences. Understood? Now, coming to other part of this, like 50 question English, 50 into 4, 200 marks. Then 100 question of your physics, chemistry, general science. Then your history, geography. Now, here, physics, if you'll see the previous year question paper of physics, chemistry, and biology, it's very simple. If you have just studied superficially also 10th, 11th, 12th physics, chemistry, biology, you'll be able to solve it. So revise from any book, if whatever you have, physics, chemistry, and biology, just once go through it, you'll be able to solve it. For history, geography, and current event, your newspaper will cover. History and geography, 2020 question. Just read 11th, 12th NCRT. That's it. 11th, 12th NCRT. Or if you want to score more of you, or you want to enhance your that you want to get 20 or 20 marks in history, then there is a one book. Please write down. All of you, please write down the name of the book. Brief Indian Modern History by Bipin Chandra. Brief Modern Indian History by Bipin Chandra. This is a small book. This thickness. You please buy that book. It is available online, and you just read it once, because you have 2 months time. So Bipin Chandra Modern History, and for geography only 11th 12th NCERT geography, and 11th 12th NCERT new book and old book. There is one old book also which is available online. So please study. Geography is very interesting. It is just like science. So please study NCERT new and old geography. Please write down. A small book. One day you can finish whole book. Okay. So physics, chemistry, and general science. 10th, 11th, 12th. Basic. Just go through once. No need of deriving anything, deriving any formula, no nothing. Just go through the theory part. They'll ask you only theoretical question in physics. In chemistry, again theoretical question, like formula of phenol. So you just go through it. One basic book. And for history, I told you modern Indian history by Bipin Chandra. If you study Bipin Chandra, no need of studying NCERT. You just study Bipin Chandra. You'll able to score 18 question out of 20. And for geography, you just study old NCERT. Old NCERT and new one if you have. It is available. New one is available in Tilaya bookstore. Old one, it is available online, where you'll able to get. Small book, you will get that spiral wala Xerox thing, and you just read once. Just read. And while reading this history and geography, I'll tell you how to study history and geography for this. When you start chapter, like when you go through the 11th, there's the first chapter called Tropic of Cancer, Latitude and Longitude. If you see, there are 2 to 3 questions from latitude and longitude. So what is Tropic of Cancer? What is Tropic of Capricorn? What is equator? What is the degree? It is very basic. You might have studied from class 6. You just have to revise it. When is winter solstice? When is summer solstice? What is the time? How sun rotates? What is the angle of inclination? Like that. Then second chapter is rock. Basic, yeah, it's very basic. Metamorphic rock, sedimentary rock, then igneous rock, then what are the type of volcano, earthquake, what are the primary wave, what are the secondary. It's a basic NCERT. Because it may happen that you might able to clear your written examination, but interview is tough. You might not able to get into interview, but the things which you'll study in this 2 months, it will be helpful for you in your further competitive examination. So don't be in that impression कि just एक दो पढ़ के निकाल लेंगे. No. Your duty is just to study now. So try to maximize your knowledge as well as your orientation, because whatever book I told you, it will be helpful for you in any BPSC, UPSC, any commission exam. These are the basic books. So your base will be created, and in NDA written also you'll able to get the marks. Again in NDA 2, which will happen in September. If you unfortunately if you're not able to clear it, then you have a chance to clear in the next this thing also, September also. So that is how preparation should be. It should not be a discontinuous one. If you have make up your mind that I want to go for defense or civil, then these are your like we call na Manohar Pothi. These books, whatever I told you, It will be helpful for you for a long time, till the time you will give your exam. After NDA, after graduation, again you go for CDS. Again, same thing, same book, same syllabus. Nothing will be changed. So at that time, when you will start flipping the page, everything you get recalled. So this is how you should prepare for that. Current event, last 10 question. You just read newspaper, start reading. Start reading newspaper from now. If you want, if someone is interested to get January newspaper, then on YouTube, when you will type the Hindu newspaper analysis January 1, lot of institute used to discuss Hindu newspaper daily. So you'll able to get this from January also, if you have time. But if you want to manage your time, if you have a less time with you, just go with the Hindu from tomorrow. Just and start making notes. When you're reading newspaper, just make one notebook, that thick notebook, and just ensure this is, and write the Hindu over it. Okay, next date, January 30th. What are the news? Don't write elaborate. No need of elaboration. Like appointments, sports news. Australian Open is undergoing. Who has won Australian Open double, mixed doubles? Like that. Single word. And read the article full. When you start reading the, firstly is reading. You read the newspaper full. Then while making notes, just buy your concise previous year question paper. Just see the previous and question book tonight, last 5 years, and see what kind of question have been asked from current event. Then you'll able to get that picture. Okay, this thing I have to pick up from newspaper. Like day before yesterday, the Central Asia Summit has happened. Now, in NDA, they might ask you which of the following country is not a part of Central Asia. So if you studied that news, then Central Asian country comprises of 5 stan: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. Then they'll give you Iran. Then you'll able to come, okay, Iran is not part of Central Asia. So you'll take Iran and you'll get the answer. That's all. So when you read the newspaper, first read it and then make notes daily, day-wise notes. That will be helpful for you for your SSB interview and for your distance. Again, same geography. You keep old new geography, and in new geography there are 2 books. So you just read that one, physical environment. Don't read that economy and geography wala book. No, you just read that first book, and then old geography whole book. Again same, start making notes. एक notebook लो, just write geography and just write single pointers with a colorful pen. I'm telling you, notes making has a lot of impact in your revision. When next time when you'll start revising your geography, you'll able to revise in 2 hours. You won't be able to read that book devoting your 2 to 3 days at last moment. No, you'll not able to do it. So day before your exam, or the 2 days before your exam, when you flip your pages of the Hindu notebook, each and every current affair you'll able to revise it. So this is how you can maximize your marks and maximize your knowledge. Clear? Now, when you study current event or current affairs, just remember the name. Name ko green color se box bana lo. Like yesterday, P. Nageshwaran is appointed as E. Nageshwaran appointed as a Chief Economic Advisor of the Government of India. Now budget session is coming. They'll ask you what is budget. When you read the newspaper, you'll come to know which article of Constitution talks about budget. It will be there in the newspaper. So whatever names or data or whatever it comes, just write it with the green thing. So that when you go for interview, they'll ask you, who is chief economic advisor appointed recently? You'll know, you'll be able to tell. In conference, the last day of interview, if you are a borderline candidate, if you're not performed up to the mark in 4 days event, in conference, they'll check you with 2 to 3 questions, and that is mostly from the current event. Let me tell you this. So please be prepared about it. And that's all for your written examination, how you'll prepare. Now, session is open for any doubt, any question. Yeah, any question from anyone?
Yeah, students, if you have any question, you can type in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. Israel, Rupesh, Sushant, Aditya Arun. Anshuman, on behalf of students, one small thing which I feel most of the students are confused with, that needs to be needs to be told to the students. You need to guide them. Like in the case where there is a situation, let's say suppose where students have to take what is there any way of taking risk, like there is negative marking, so can they exactly take risk?
No, sir. Whatever I have given brief about what to study, just to avoid taking risk. Because when you see the question, you'll get lured by the question. You'll get driven by the question in the examination hall. Because question, it might appear that question is very simple. But in general studies, you might not be sure. Like in mathematics, when you solve the question, you'll come to know, okay, this is the answer. But in general studies, you think that, okay, I have studied it. And in that lurement, you'll do wrong answers. So just to
So
avoid
you
it, yes, sir, there are 70 days time. Whatever source I told them, sir, it's a very small book, just 2 new books. Rest all books, physics, chemistry, math, they might have studied. They just have to revise it.
So you are suggesting that they should not at all take risk.
Yes, sir. No risk in any competitive examination. It is not for NDA only. In any competitive examination, don't go for this
Okay.
blanket answer, darkening, nothing, sir. Nothing doing like that.
Okay. Now there is a question from Sushant.
Sir.
How to prepare for SSB interview?
Okay. SSB interview, sir. Like firstly, for Sushant, I will tell you, you just go through the process. There's a 3 kind of interview which is happening there. In last section, I discussed it. First is your psychology test, then your ground task, then your personal interview. So you firstly, you know the process. You go on internet, or I'll tell you what is the process like. You just take my number. I'll tell you the detail, because this is not a session to discuss the detailed process of your SSB interview. You firstly go through the process, then newspaper reading, then start improving on those officer-like qualities. Start working on that in your personal life. So when you start working on your personal life, it is around 5 to 6 months for your interview from now. So those things will get amplified in your answer, in your behavior. You just read that 13 officer-like qualities. And you start
last time
that.
it was discussed. Last time it was
Yes.
discussed also in the session.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Sushant, I think that clarifies to you. You have to work on your personal traits. You have to work on your personal qualities. Just preparing for interview like you have to mug up something and do something. No, that won't work. What has to work, what will work is actually what you are from inside.
Yeah,
So
and
that,
this
yeah.
this sir, like this interview process, this is not, you are not a first one who went for interview. This the board, the SSB Service Selection Board, the board
Hmm.
which is taking interview. It is a whole year process. So there are a lot of students go for interview.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
within one or two questions, sir, they're able to get that, okay, you have prepared it, or you have that coaching wala material, or it is there from your inside.
Hmm.
So generally they look for that raw thing, that what qualities you have inside you.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now there is a question from Rupesh. Is it
Sir,
important to study whole syllabus or selective study will be helpful?
selective study will be helpful. Like if you want to work smartly, then selective study, you go for your physics, chemistry, general science question, general science syllabus, then your English and maths. If like no need of going for SST if you're not comfortable in that. But there's a one borderline for it. When you go for selective study, you should be sure about it. Your effort should not be half-hearted about it. Because if you like selective study, if you see for like 50% question is from science background, 50% question is from SST or social studies. If 50% questions, 50% syllabus, you should be sure about it. Your preparation should be very focused about those 50% aspect of that whole question paper.
Hmm. I
That is
think
the reason
Rupesh
I'm
that.
telling you. That is the
Hmm.
reason I'm telling you, Rupesh. Firstly, you go for whole syllabus. Then in last 15 or 20 days, you go for selective. Like कुछ topics होंगे जहाँ पे you have a more interest. So start revising that. At least you should have a glance of overall syllabus. When you see the question of geography, it might happen that out of 20 questions, like how question is framed, 20 question of geography, 5 question are easy question. If you'll once go through the syllabus or the topic, you'll able to answer those 5 questions. That's for sure. So selective study in last 20 days you can do, but you start from now, you should go for full-fledged syllabus.
Okay, Rupesh. I think that clarifies your doubt that you must focus on entire syllabus instead of just being selective. But towards the end of the examination, you can be selective towards your study.
Yes, sir. Selective revision is if you want to do selective study.
Yes. Aditya Arun is asking a question. What can be done when there is 50-50 chances to get answers correctly?
Leave that question.
Aditya, that has already been discussed in this particular session, I suppose. You must not take any risk. That is why 70 days time is there and you need to work hard. That has already been told. But same question, I think, same question in another format. It is like, I think, more important to guide Anshuman. This question is from Krishna. How to manage the time because CBSE term 2 is also near.
Okay. So how to manage the time? If now you have to decide first thing, like when is your CBSE exam? Can someone tell me?
Your term 2, I think it will be in April, March last week or April. April first week they start with.
Okay, April first week start with. So you do one thing, you go for 12th, firstly 12th maths, because you are in guys in 12th appearing. Is there any someone who already passed 12 and is appearing for exam?
No, everyone is, I think, in 12th.
In 12th appearing. So
Mhm.
you prepare your 12th maths, 12th physics, 12th chemistry, and slightly portion of biology. So those who are in PCM, your physics, chemistry, math is already being prepared. So you're around 30 to 40% syllabus coincides with the NDA syllabus. Okay.
Hmm.
And that will be sure shot. If you work out for this 30 to 40%, you will be sure shot in solve in solving any question in written examination and to secure a good marks in +2 also. Now, rest time in between, you should choose depending upon your interest, that whether you want, but newspaper reading is very important. It will increase your English marks in your 12th examination also, and it will helpful for your written examination also, and 10 marks for your current event also. So your 40 to 50% syllabus will be coinciding with your +2 examination. Now, rest, how to manage time. I have a very different take on management of time here. You should have that motivation level. When you're studying now, सामने वाले का देख के वो his 208 bones should start shaking your preparation. You should be that motivated because there's a lot of competitive world. Have you read that news? RRB, NTPC, a lot of protests and everything is going on. It's a very competitive time. You should go for 24-hour study. You should put everything, whatever fire inside you, because you can't get anything in a comfortable manner, in an easy way. You have to put yourself, you have to commit yourself. And when you'll commit, I'm telling you, no one can stop your result. No soul on the earth can stop your result. You have to commit for that. You can't get anything just in your thali. You have to earn that. You have to be a topper in 12th too, and getting that NDA too. So for cherishing that moment, you have to put in a lot of effort. So time management is on. Who talks about time management? A lot of my colleagues, when I was studying, they used to talk about, yeah, time management kaise kare. There is nothing called time management. Yeah, 24 hours is with you. Are you employed anywhere? No. Are you a part of any organization, or you're working somewhere? No. Then what is called time management? Classes are online. Everything is online. You have 24 hours with you. Plan your 24 hours accordingly. No one can stop you. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, Anshuman, that was wonderful from you. I think that says everything. If you have 24 hours, why to talk of time management when you have 24 hours? It says everything.
Sir.
Wonderful. Yeah, any other questions, students? Yes, you can type your queries if you have any question. Any other queries, students? Anshuman, your last message for our students. I think there is no other query. Nobody is asking right now. Before we end this session, any last message to our aspirants, NDA aspirants?
Sir, there is one message, sir, which I used to follow in my life. Still, sir, I'm like in service. I'm although in service, sir, but I'm still preparing for UPSC. Last year, sir, I given my attempt. So there is only one thing, sir. ऐसा लाइफ में कुछ अद्भुत करने के लिए ना अपनी पूरी you have to put everything. There is no other option. There is no other option of getting, there is no shortcut of getting success. There is no shortcut of getting recognition in society. Because this period, it is a hell lot of competition. And उस competition में आने के लिए आपको कोई, if no nothing doing, if you want to enjoy your next 40 years of life, you have to give 1 or 2 years of life dedicatedly and enjoy your 40 years of life. That's all.
Wonderful, amazing.
Just that fire, that we call it fire. Whatever fire is there inside you, just burn everything in your life. Just go for 500%, 1000%. Your family members should get frightened by seeing you that you are studying like that. You should forget every this comfort, neem, khana, everything here. This is called what students should be like. So that's my take of any preparation, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that should inspire us students also.
Sir,
And
I hope
now
I
there
hope,
is
sir.
there is last question. I think we'll take this last question,
Sure,
and it is from Sushant. Sushant is asking from where we should study the basic bio, and he's a math. He's asking it for math student. Where should a math student study basic bio?
Okay, basic bio, take 11th, 12th NCRT. Only NCRT.
Okay, okay.
Only NCRT. And that box wala question, whatever that given in the box, if you study the NCRT, there is this do you know thing, try to remember, there's small box which are made. You should make notes of that. So that will be helpful for exam, because they generally used to ask questions from that box.
Okay, okay, great.
And for last and this important thing, sir, when you study this NCRT, by default, it will create a base for you. Even unfortunately, not able to clear it, when you go for graduation, it will inspire a motivation for you to clear CDS and to go for UPSC. So that is blessing in disguise for you. That's why I'm telling you to go for whole syllabus. You should know the real ground, because this might be your first competitive examination of this nature. So when you study the whole syllabus, then you will have that your bird view will be clear in your mind. That okay, this is what you study for any examination. So when you step your foot into any graduation stream, especially if you want to go for any competitive examination, your basic will be clear. So in longer run, you might not get succeeded in shorten run, but in longer run, I'm telling you, definitely you will meet me after 3 to 4 years. You will be at holding a good post in government of India. So just, dear my juniors, you just put this 2 years. Whatever has happened till 12th, live it now. Your next 2 to 3 years will decide the course of your future. अभी जो हो गया, live it. You can't, तुम पहले का जो भी है वो करेक्ट नहीं कर सकते. बट जो हाथ में तुम्हारे स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम नाउ, मेरे फोन रखने के बाद, if you have that fire to study till 6 a.m. in tomorrow morning, that is the motivation I want from you guys. That is the motivation I want. You should carry that motivation to your 2 to 3 years of your life, and that will become a part of your attitude when you will go in job, whatever. तुम जैसे अपना मेहनत करते हो प्रिपरेशन में, अपने मेहनत को जैसे करते हो, the same thing you will carry in your service too. If you are like shortcut wala banda and somehow you sneak through the competitive examination, you will have the same behavior in the service too. But you have that hard working fire behavior in service too, you will able to perform good, because that will become part of your attitude. You can't be relaxing and hogging food anywhere, sitting on any government office, nothing. We have some certain responsibility towards whatever portfolio and whatever things we'll do in your life. So this is your womb. We call it womb, mother's womb. तो mother's womb से ही तुम्हारा nurturing start है, तुम्हारा nutrition start है. Now how you'll perform in this next 2 to 3 years will decide your stature, will decide not only your promotion, your societal promotion, your societal stature, the way you'll conduct, the way you'll do for any service. That is my final message for you guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Anshuman. I would like to invite Abhijit sir. Abhijit sir, are you there?
Yes, sir.
If you can propose vote of thanks on behalf of Grijde Vidyalaya for Anshuman.
Sure. Sure, sir.
Obviously, he has done a lot of hard work. The way he has inspired his students, it's amazing.
Right, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
So on behalf of Grizzly Vidyalaya, I would like to convey our sincere thanks to Deputy Commandant, rather. Earlier he was Assistant Commandant. Now he has been promoted to the Deputy Commandant. So first of all, congratulations to Anshuman sir on this
Thank you.
platform
Thanks.
for being the Deputy Commandant. We would like to convey our sincere gratitude for sparing your valuable time for our students and let them know about the process, the complete process to crack the NDA or any civil service examinations, any competitive examination. It was great hearing you, and I think with this, students have learned a lot because the students have joined your session in the offline mode also, and now in the online mode also, which will help them to complete their preparation for the NDA written examination. We once again thanks Deputy Commandant Anshuman Singh for sparing his valuable time for our students. Thank you,
And
sir.
thanks, Abhijit. Thanks, Abhijit, for giving me this platform to act as a conduit of motivation to my young budding juniors.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
that the things which we, when we were studying, we were not able to got it. Now these guys should know. These guys
Yes.
should get this opportunity and able to crack and get into the service and bring the name of my town, my country, my state to the forefront of our services in our country. That's all. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you so
yes.
much, GVTD. It's always in my heart.
Yeah, once a Brazilian, always a Brazilian, as it is commonly said. So once again, we would like to thank each and everyone present in the Zoom meet for this online meeting, and we wish the students participating in this event may get success and they all pass out with the flying colors. So with this, with the permission of Student Service Cell Coordinator Sudhanshu sir, can we close the meet now, sir?
I think that is done. And thank you, Anshuman, once again. Everyone,
Okay,
thank
sir.
you.
Thanks, sir.
It was a wonderful session. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir.